I'm in Salad and I saw Elf. It's directed by Jon Favreau. My previous exposure to this movie was I've seen it about like 4 or 5 times. I've had my family force me to watch this movie and then praise it right in front of me. I'm going to get a little bit more into depth on how I actually feel about this movie, but if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. But I don't know how you couldn't have seen this movie. This is pretty much like, oh, you have to watch this. So many people have told me, oh, you gotta go watch Elf. You gotta watch Elf. You gotta do it. It's good. It's the greatest movie of all time. Is this the greatest movie of all time? Well, it's time for me to find out. The movie starts, we're seeing a child. Why? Why are we seeing a child? Okay, we're seeing, more specifically, we're seeing a child in a crib, and Santa's there. And this child in this crib notices that, oh, there's a present, there's a toy. Well, I want to go get it. And so this crib is not childproof. It can be pushed down by the child. And I'm just thinking right off the bat, why? Why do you have cribs that exist that can be pulled down by the child? Isn't there some sort of safety lock? But I digress. He goes into the bag and then he's taken to the North Pole. There's a bunch of elves. Santa's like, oh, I'm Santa. Oh, I've done my job. All right, cool. But then the baby crawls out. Oh, we're gonna name this baby. We're gonna name it Buddy. Why? Oh, there's a tag on the diaper. I understand the logic of you see 3 words on a diaper tag, and you're like, I'm gonna use one of those words. And honestly, makes sense. I totally get this line of thinking. But then we're gonna have Papa Elf. He's an older elf. He's like, hey, I'm gonna raise this child. He's gonna get really big. He's gonna get bigger than me, pretty much like when he's a toddler. And I'm like, oh man, this is hilarious. This is supposed to be comical. Just the amount of like hijinks that he goes through while living as an elf. He cannot fit in the shower. He can't really fit in this elf-sized world. So the fact that he's like, I'm totally an elf, guys. I'm like, dude, you're just denying reality. Come on. I mean, I know you don't know that humans exist. However, you're bigger than literally everyone here. You're bigger than the father that raised you. But like, you're like twice his height, dude. You think you still think you're an elf? All right, well, he goes on a journey. Oh, I gotta go on a journey. Why do I have to go on a journey? Well, because I just found out that I'm not an elf. And I'm like, how did you just find that out? How did you not suspect? Did you not suspect a thing ever at all? At any point? You suck at making etch-a-sketches. There's an hourly quota of 1,000 and you only made 85? How do you not question? How do you not? Oh, I'm probably not an elf if I'm not as good as these smaller beings next to me with more nimble fingers. But like, I wouldn't let that be like a contention to hate yourself. It seems that Buddy really hates himself, but he wants to go on a journey. He's told about this orphanage by Papa Elf that he was picked up at, and he's telling. Papa Elf is telling Buddy about, oh, here is your father. Hey, look at this picture. Here's your mother and your father, but your father works in New York City at the Empire State Building. And I'm like, you know what? It makes sense that they would know that because they're Santa elves. Well, what is the chain of custody on what knowledge is known? Santa knows everyone. That's assumed. But we have Papa Elf. Where does Papa Elf fall in knowing where everyone is at all times? How recent is this information? Well, seeing that he's an adult and he's in New York City, I'm pretty sure he's just going to stay at the same job no matter how old this information is. But you know what? Buddy's like, all right, I'm going to go towards this information. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to go to this I'm gonna go through this forest of imaginary animals and candy canes and stuff, and I'm just like, you know what? Not too bad. The animation, not bad at all, honestly. It's supposed to be fake, so they're definitely, they're animated like on a different frame rate than Will Ferrell is actually framed at. So, sorry, buddy, this is totally real. This is North Pole stuff, totally. But okay, so we're going through, and I really like the compositing. I think the compositing still holds up, honestly. Just, oh, wow, he's just floating on an ice. All right, that's cool. And then he gets to New York. I feel like it's like a magical tunnel to New York. I honestly wanted to see more of his journey. Just see him like dealing with the roughness of trying to get to New York, and then having to deal with the roughness of the event of the movie, because he goes to his father's office. Oh, I'm your son. I'm your son. I've come with no proof. I'm your son. I keep insisting that I'm your son. Have you never spoke to a person before? I mean, the answer is literally yes. But, like, is there a different a different way to socialize amongst elves than there is amongst humans? Do you think elves can just be like, oh, I'm this, and then the other elf will instantly believe you? So Buddy uses this method of, I'm your son. And of course, he goes to his dad's office in the Empire State Building. It's really incredibly easy to get into his office. There's no security whatsoever. None at all. So he just goes. He's like, I'm a Christmas... No, he actually doesn't say he's a Christmas Graham. His father assumes that he's a Christmas Graham. He's like, go away, shoo. I don't want you. Just, this was fun, handy dandy. Who sent you? Got a bunch of people who are like, whoa, I'm laughing. Ha 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 ha. Wow, you're strange, guy. Buddy's not taken seriously. He doesn't understand the laws of not getting hit by a car, not getting hit by something that is coming towards you. He gets hit several times, and he withstands all the hits by the cars. They're always taxis, honestly, which is hilarious. But also, I just find it funny that he has, like, no sense of, like, oh, there's a thing coming towards me. There's a bunch of things just coming towards me that is coming towards me at a very unknown rate, but it is scary. I'm going to just jump out of the way. I'm going to avoid that at all costs. He has none of that. He's just like, la-di-la-di-la-di-da-da-da-da-da. All right, cool. This is a very under-socialized person. So Buddy goes to a mall after he gets kicked out. And this mall is very confusing for him. He doesn't know how to use the escalator. I'm just like, just try it out. Just put your foot on it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? Well, if you don't get off, your foot's gonna get caught. Your clothing is gonna get caught specifically, and then your foot's gonna get dragged along, and then you're gonna lose your foot. But you just have to time out. You gotta time out how you're gonna be on the escalator. That's all it really takes. But Buddy, you have none of the intuition. I mean, I understand this is a strange new world, but Buddy, no intuition whatsoever? So he's in the shop, he's just looking for a present for his father, and then a guy, what seems to be a supervisor, is like, get back upstairs! He's mistaken as a worker, but he's like, name tag. Buddy just goes along with it. I understand that, he's just a child in the mind. And then he goes to the store where they're claiming they're going to be Santa tomorrow. He's like, Santa! Ah! Santa's going to be here. Understanding, I mean, he knows there's a Santa. He's met Santa. And then he's seeing that these people are advertising that Santa's going to be there. So I understand his leap of logic. However, I also am just like, well, does Santa have time to go visit people? If he's stuck at the North Pole, have you ever seen him visiting people outside of Christmas? Buddy, have you? There's just so many questions I have to ask Buddy. Like, why do you not have any intuition whatsoever? But besides that, he stays after and decorates the entire store with a bunch of, like, snow stuff. And it's really good. Like, honestly, I'm like, this is great handiwork. I understand. You got, like, the skill of making things because you've been raised by elves. I understand that. And then you're able to just be super fast, cut things up, chop, 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 then have everything decorated. And it's pretty cool, honestly. You meet a girl, her name is Jovi. She's originally like, don't talk to me! But then, like, he embarrasses himself, and then she's attracted to that, I guess? I don't understand that. I personally, if someone was willing to embarrass themselves, be like, yeah, that's Santa, and keep insisting that his version of the events are true, would I entertain Buddy? No. I'm not the type of person to do that. I'm very, I would just be like, very brutally honest, like, hey, I'm not really particularly interested in you, but I will listen to you. But you know, Jovi's like, I'm gonna entertain this, and then he's gonna ask me out on a date, and his little brother is there, by the way. He visits the family. Buddy feels bad for him. I gotta get a DNA test, and it's true. I have to deal with an adult child now. Oh goodness, what could his diet be? What is it? The food? The pyramid? There's any vegetables in there? No. You know what it is? Well, we have Buddy's, I guess it would be stepmother, since his father is currently married to her. So stepmother? Yeah, I think that's the family lineage. Yeah, her name is Emily, and he has a younger brother, stepbrother technically. His name is Michael, and he's like, you know, both of them are like, kind of hesitant at first. I understand that, especially if you're seeing a guy pouring maple syrup on spaghetti and then eating it, and then for breakfast he makes spaghetti with a bunch of sugar, just assorted amounts of sugar, and he just eats that. I'm like, do you have any teeth? Do you brush your teeth? I mean, it seems like you do, but how many times do you have to brush your teeth a day in order to get over the fact that you eat sugar all the time? Don't eat that, please. I don't want to eat that, says Emily, or anyone else. But, you know, he eats it. Buddy eats it. Even gets a to-go bag. Hey, I'm gonna make some pasta. How does he know how to make pasta? Does he know how to cook at all? I'm actually really curious. But you know what? What does matter is that, oh, well, I have to walk. And Michael's there. And Michael's getting bullied. Let's have a snowball fight, and then, wow, Buddy's really good at throwing snowballs. Could you guess it? He's super inhumane. How did he learn those skills? I'm so curious. Is there like a snowball throwing course? And he had to like compete with elves who are like faster than him because they're smaller than him. So he has to like compensate and like have to just do it really fast over and over and over again. And now he's super quick. And he makes snowballs. And it's an inhumane speed. But he's human. That's the entire point of the movie, is that he's human, not an elf. I'm not shown that elves have any of this type of speed, or I wanted to see like an elf sport where they're going super fast and he has to keep up. Well, it makes sense that he has the skill set, but no, he can just throw snowballs super fast. But Michael is a big fan. They go to the store that Buddy, I forgot to mention that Buddy has a restraining order at, because he attacked Santa. You're not Santa! And then there's a very embarrassed scene where he pulls off the mask. I'm like, dude. I'm not the type of person to be like, oh no, about the kids. But like, dude. You're gonna act like that in front of a bunch of kids? Those kids are gonna think that's okay. Probably. I'm not a parent, so I actually have no authority on this, but I was a kid once, and I think that is the case. If I saw that happening, I feel like I'd either be, A, stay away, or if I was raised a different way, I'd be like, yeah, I can attack Santa in public because he's not Santa. That's a thing that totally happens. But, you know, Buddy asks Jovi on a date. She accepts, and he's about to go on this date. Oh, I gotta prepare for a date. This is amazing. I should also mention Buddy's dad. His name is Walter, and he's at a children's book company. He's really selfish. He's been put on the naughty list for a reason, and I just really like the fact that he's like, you know what? 2 pages, don't need them. Just send them out, ship. And then we have his boss being like, hey, this book sucks. Why'd you sell it? He's about to lose his job, and he has to come up with the book by Christmas Eve. And like, dude, advocate for yourself. Why do you need a book? Because this was a quarter. Business reasons. I'm just the type of person to be like, yeah, but it's a holiday. You're gonna miss Christmas Eve. I mean, I personally have missed Christmas Eve because of work, but like, you have family, okay? He's even like in a pitch, and then we see Buddy coming in. He insults his boss. His boss is very short, and Buddy calls him an elf, and he gets offended and attacks him, assaults him, and I'm like, dude, Buddy can sue you for that. You have lots of money. Why did you not think before just seeing red? Of course, Walter's like, no, I don't want you, Buddy. And then Buddy just starts walking. Perfect timing for Buddy to start walking. Santa Claus is in the area. His sled is no good because there's no Christmas spirit. His Christmas spirit magic engine propelled by the Christmas spirit is not working. Only Buddy can help. Of course, we see that Jovi gets a whiff of this. She believes him. There's a whole thing, but like Jovi has established that she does not like singing in public, and then as a character growth, she starts singing in public to try to raise the Christmas spirit. And honestly, that's fun, I guess. I personally am not a big fan of singing Christmas carols in a large group of people, mainly because I just hear a lot of people being out of tune, and then I cringe. And everyone was in tune, which I didn't cringe, but I don't really believe the movie exists. Well, it doesn't exist. Santa's in it, and anyway, they have to deal with the fact that the reindeer needs some more loving, and so does the Christmas propeller thing. And I'm just like, okay, I guess the reindeer runs on Christmas spirit. They do eventually help out Santa, and everyone around Buddy believes him, actually, that he's from the North Pole. It's a personal relationship with Santa. Santa's like, Buddy, you're good. Amazing. And then we get to see that Jovi has married Buddy, and they're visiting Papa Elf with a child in the North Pole. And I'm just like, man, what could the electricity cost be of living in the North Pole? You have to constantly have the heater running. Or, you see, maybe the elves are a little bit more cold-blooded, and they don't need things to be as warm as humans do. But then how did Buddy survive? How did the elves survive? And how does that baby, newly exposed to Earth, to existence, how is that baby going to react to the very cold environment that they're in? Can they go outside at all? How did they go outside without the child dying of frostbite pretty much instantly? I just have so many questions. That's how the movie ends. You can probably tell that I'm not a big fan. I do remember not liking this movie a lot more. I actually hated it because of how many times I've had to watch it because of family members like, I want to watch Elf again. I want to do it again. I'm going to do it. And then they watch Elf and I'm in the room. And of course, I'd either be drawing, but I'd still listen to the dialogue, mind you. I could walk away and leave, but no. That's not in the spirit of the holidays. You have to deal with the fact that you have family members that really just want to watch Elf constantly. And no, I don't want to watch Elf again, please. I don't want to. I rewatched it for this review just so I could see if it holds up to the visceral hate that I remember just hating it so much. But just seeing it more of like an analytical lens, I can see why people like this movie. It is written well. But I'm not a big fan of the humor. I'm not a big fan of Will Ferrell's performance just because it's just too over the top and like childlike. I'm not really a big fan of like, oh wow, this person is so under-socialized. Let's make a humor out of that. Let's make it humorous. That's the joke. He doesn't know how to use an escalator. Ha ha ha! You're supposed to laugh at that. And I'm like, as a person, I'm just like, dude, I don't know. Help him out. Just be like, just get on the escalator, dude. I mean, I did say that I understand why people like this movie. The humor though, I am really not a big fan of fart jokes, like, at all. Like, or anything involving that end of jokes. Gross, nasty, please do not share them with me. And the fact that I had to watch a movie, it wasn't like full of them, but there's like one every like period of moment they're like, oh well, this will be fine, I don't know how to deal with that fart joke, and then bam, there's another one. I'm like, oh, I have to deal with the more. I don't want to deal with it, please. Just leave me alone. I don't want to hear about bodily functions, please. I don't care. Everyone has them. Therefore, I don't need to hear about it because I know everyone has them. I don't need to hear your experience on them, please. I don't care. Just... I also just like... I guess I kind of like Jovi. She's cute. I feel like she would do better if she had brunette hair, just like cuter. But like, I understand there's the color palette of the movie. You have to have a little bit lightness, and you have to have her blonde. But I think she'd just do better as a brunette. That's just my personal opinion. But honestly, also as well, buddy, how fast do you learn? I don't think Buddy is autistic. I think he's under-socialized, and I think there's a difference because he feels the need to like interact with people and not like hurt people's feelings in such a way where it's like, okay, well, that person is attempting to socialize like pretty heavily, actually. He's talking way too much. But he's like, also just be like, but Dad, I just want to be with you. He's just talking too much about his experience, which is what I'm reading, versus if like, I'm autistic. So my experience just socializing is I only really socialized if I was interested in what people were talking about. And maybe I like would share like a thought or two, but people wouldn't be interested, so I wouldn't be interested in socializing with them. Because like they couldn't talk to the lengths that I could talk about the subject material, whatever it may be. But like Buddy, he engages in some other people's talking, like Jovi specifically, like engages in like some things that she's interested in, which I like. He is definitely the like an example of this moment has to be when she's singing in the shower. That is an under-socialized moment, but he is interested in her singing. Like, he likes her singing specifically. And personally, if I heard someone singing in the shower, I wouldn't care that much. I wouldn't go into the bathroom and sing along with them if I knew the song. Unless I really liked them. Unless I had, like, some sort of attachment towards them. But I also, Buddy, this is, like, the first girl that he's seen. So, of course, he's attracted to her. I just find it weird that she's accepting all of his advances, just kind of face forward. I understand that, like, he's really innocent. Like, wow, he's so impossibly innocent. But, you know, I personally just not a big fan of this movie. I wouldn't say it's as bad as I remember it, but it's still pretty bad. And because of the badness factor, although I did see there's a lot of intentionality with the colors that they use, the color palette specifically of the movie, I just still don't like it. I don't like the cringe humor. I mean, it's still pretty cringy. I like cringe humor a little bit more now, but I still felt like the pain that I felt first time I watched this movie when I really didn't like cringe humor, like secondhand embarrassment. But, you know, this is not my cup of tea, but it might be yours. Let me know in the comments if you really like Elf. Do you have fond memories of watching Elf, and would you watch Elf again? Please let me know. I need to see who actually likes this movie. I need to know. Just so I'm like, or if you hate it. If you hate Elf, also let me know. I need to see if I'm the only person that hates Elf, because everyone that I know who likes Elf really likes Elf and won't stop talking about it. And because of the it's okay factor, I gotta give this movie a solid 4.9 out of 10. If you like this review, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. The ultimate goal of this channel is for me to become an expert movie reviewer. So, if I haven't reviewed it on the channel, there's a chance I haven't even seen it at all. You can request a movie in the comments below. You can fast track a request at patreon.com/ASEPresents for $20 a month for one movie review per 1 month, or $3 a month for some daily vlogs, all at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grindiness of the channel, you can go to this link tree. All my lewdness is strictly there now, so go here. And until next time, I've been Salad Saw. I'll see y'all later, my salad croutons, bacon bits.